Ever dream of creating an RPG, but don't have hundreds of hours to spend designing maps, monsters, and quests? Well, what if I told you there's a way to fast track your RPG development with just one free tool? And it doesn't even matter which game engine you're using. That's right, this tool is game engine agnostic, so whether you're working in Unity, Unreal, Godot, or something else, you can easily plug this content into your game. With this tool, we'll have everything we need: maps, monsters, traps, even game logic right at our fingertips. In just a few clicks, we'll have the foundation for an RPG that's ready to bring to life in any engine. Let's get started and see just how fast we can turn this generated content into a real game. So, here we are in Donjon, a free online D&D dungeon generator. I'll leave the link to this tool down below. This tool is an absolute goldmine for RPG creators. With just a few clicks, we can generate everything from a full dungeon map to detailed descriptions of monsters, traps, and even puzzles. And there's even a campaign generator which generates something that looks just like a game design document. So while this tool is generally used by people that play tabletop RPGs, it can easily be adapted to game development. So let's dive in and see what kind of RPG content we can get out of this. I'll walk you through each step so you can see just how powerful and quick this process is. So here we have the overworld map generated, the fantasy world generator. So it generates by default a hex grid of all of the different features of the map. It gives you a whole fantasy overworld with different areas where there's dungeons, there's cities, there's keeps, etc. So, and it also gives you a legend down here. It tells you where all the castles are, the cities, and the ruins are as well. So, and you can download the map. The map itself is a PNG that is quite large, and you could use this as your overworld map in your RPG game as well. Like, you could use this directly as your overworld map, and then you could overlay things on top of it, like your custom locations and where the player is, etc. So they also have a campaign generator, so you can actually generate your world name. It's got some random things like that, what's the main road, etc. So sort of like a design document to tell you what things are about. So you could use this to design your video game as well. The main thing you want to use here is the D&D 5e random dungeon generator for dungeons, and it allows you to, it automatically populates the dungeon name when you come in here. And you've got the party size 1 through 13. I'm not sure that it makes a lot of a difference, but, and then there's a motif. So abandoned, giant, undead, desert, aquatic, etc. These are different environments that they have. You can choose from fine, which is the smallest, all the way up to colossal, a small one. Dungeon layout, what's the shape, the overall shape of the dungeon? Square. Square is a good choice to use for game engines just because you can easily set up a plane to act as to project this JPEG onto, just for reference when you're building it. So you could use that, but you can use any of these, really. There's a keep one, so it's pretty interesting. The peripheral egress, if you want an exit out onto the outside of the map, then that's what that does. And you can change the room layout. So scattered, sparse, less rooms, more corridors, or more rooms, or you can have a symmetric one. You can have a dense where there's more rooms than there are corridors. The room sizes, you can make them small or large. That one's a lot of little small rooms, and there, or you've got a few large rooms. And we want, if you don't want circular rooms, for instance, like say your assets that you have don't have circular areas, you can turn off the polymorph rooms, and they'll all be square. Doors, you can say basic, secure, death trap, or standard, but it'll generate some of the doors as locked and some unlocked, I think. But death trap will be the ones that are trapped. And you've got secure, which is all, I think they're going to all be locked probably. Corridors, you can have different types of corridors. Labyrinth, errant. Errant means they can sometimes go into a maze. And straight. Straight, there will be more straightforward. Labyrinth. Yeah, you can just look at these and see. Remove dead ends. You can have it so that there's no dead ends. And stairs, yes or no. So this will generate stairs going to the next level. So you could use that if you're planning on doing a multi-level dungeon. Or you can remove the stairs and have no stairs, and this would just be a one-level dungeon. So, and then the map style, you can, this is just for visual reference only, like just the background. So it's not really that useful. And then grid, the types of grids, you can get none, so you don't have a grid, or a square, which you get the square for unit, like game engines. You probably want to use square unless you have a hex grid system set up in your game engine. In terms of ease of like laying this out in a game engine, square is probably what you want to do. So then you click construct, and now you've got level 1 of your dungeon, and you can click on this map and it will go like down to the details. So they give you all the details of all the different maps. You've got a backstory, the size, which is the grid number of squares across and down, the walls, the floor is sand. This one's because I used aquatic, so it's completely underwater. So you can use these details, or you can change them, whatever you want to do. But it gives you a good starting point for generating, like creating this in a game engine like Unity. So Bullywug, so it tells you what kind of monsters are in here. And you've got, like, in room 1, you've got a locked wooden door that tells you what the chances are to open. You have to roll a 15 out of 20, something like that. So you can use this game logic, or you can change it to your liking, I guess. But it gives you a good starting point, some suggestions for things you can do. The monsters, how much treasure's in the room, what the room features are, like someone wrote on the wall, etc. So it gives you a lot of details that you can either choose to use or not to use, depending on what you want to do. So this is a great starting point for your levels in Unity if you're creating a dungeon crawler type game, or an RPG that has dungeons in it. Along with the fantasy world generator, you can start your RPG very quickly. Now, next, we're going to take this map into Unity. I'm going to show you how to use this map as reference when building the actual level in Unity.